I wasn't paying much. I didn't feel that I'm paying too much. But after I came here, each semester cost me 7 lakhs in Indian rupees. So that was pretty expensive. So I also had my living expenses to deal with. So for the living expenses, I used to do part-time jobs, and that made my studies a bit hectic. And the most important thing I'd like to tell anybody who wants to study in Australia.
Hey guys, welcome back to Career Cushion, where we connect professions to people. Our guest for today is Athulya. She has done her masters from Australia and currently working as agriculture technical officer with AGRICHEM. Thanks for joining us, Athulya, and welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
Can you walk us through your journey from BSc to AGRICHEM?
Yeah, so I was basically, as everybody is, a medical or engineering aspirant student when I was in my 12th. After that, I went ahead for so many exams, JIPMAR, AIMS, AIPMT, everything. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. And finally, I landed in an unexpected profession, which is agriculture. And I had given my exams through the ICR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. It's located in Delhi. They place us like nationally. And I happened to land in a seat in AP, and that has helped me a lot as well throughout my journey. I did my BSc honors in horticulture. It's a 4-year course. I did it in Andhra Pradesh in Dr. YSR Horticulture University, the main branch in Venkatrapanagudam. And it was a beautiful journey of 4 years, and I really enjoyed doing the course because I never expected that I'd enjoy studying agriculture this much. Although I never aspired of going into this field. And in my third, I had never expected to go abroad as well. So when I was in my third year, I used to hear that we have some seniors who've been to abroad somewhere in US, and they are having a pretty good lifestyle over there. So then I started thinking about moving to abroad to do my higher studies because I was also not much sure what I'd get after a master's in agriculture. Then I started researching through internet and contacting my seniors and everybody else because we also have some friends in other states who are aspiring to do different kind of jobs in the same field. So that's how I finished my 4 years of course. I had an internship of 1 year where I was placed in a rural area to work with some of the local farmers. And that took me even deeper into the course, and I gained some interest because. Initially, I wasn't interested in, but this 4 years made me grow interest in my course. And then I thought that this is what is planned for me. And I tried my level best to work through the course. And yeah, finally I made it. And finally I finished my BSc. And then I also had my mom who wanted me to do my future studies in abroad. And then I went through the normal uh, process of going and applying to a university in abroad. And it's a 2 years master's. So I've done my bachelor's in horticulture, but I have done my master's in agriculture because I think that's a better balance because horticulture is basically study of flowers, fruits, vegetables, and all those kind of stuff. But agriculture gives you a broader outlook. So horticulture is a branch of agriculture. So I thought I'd go for a broader option because it will give me a broader knowledge about the same. So I went for Dryland in agriculture. So this is a course in Curtin. So Curtin is a university in Perth. Perth is located in the western part of Australia. So it's a city in the Western Australia. So that's how I landed in my master's, and it was a 2 years journey. And through many ups and downs, because the assessments here is very very difficult. It's around 20 to 30 times tougher than what we do in India. So I was pretty good in my assignments, but it did take me a bit of time to balance everything. And as you know, the life in abroad, you cannot do it like just with your studies, and you also need to take care of your expenses.
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, I was balancing between both the stuff for around 2 years, and yeah, that's how my journey was from my bachelor's to my master's. Yeah.
Amazing journey, I should say. So, what are the roles and responsibilities of an agriculture technical officer?
So yes, and I'm working with a company named AGRICHEM. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm working as an agriculture technical officer with them. So they are a company that produce plant protection products. So we have different fields in agriculture basically. So you cannot go into, like, you won't find a field that would include everything. So basically, when you say that you are employed in agriculture, what people have an assumption is you're growing crops, you're going for harvesting, you're sowing seeds. So that's not the basic part of agriculture, because that's the job of a grower or a farmer. So anybody who's employed in agriculture never does that. So I have even faced some negative commentaries when I told someone that I'm doing my BSc in horticulture, I'm doing my master's in agriculture. I've even heard comments like, "What do you do? Like grow stuff? You don't need a degree to grow stuff." So I know negative commentaries are common in any kind of field. So that's not basically what happens. You have many other stuff to do. In India, you can be a horticulture officer, you can be an agriculture officer, and you have many job opportunities with cooperative banks. I have friends who have been going through exams and got jobs and landed in some. You also have options in software companies where they give you landscaping jobs. So you don't go and sow seeds and grow flowers. It's just that you design the landscape, and you got people to support you to do that. So that's what happens when you go abroad. So in abroad and in India, you have very different kind of job opportunities. You won't be able to match or find uh, like a similar kind of job like in India and abroad, because our needs differ, needs of the government and the people differ. So it's different. So as an agriculture technical officer, anybody who listens this term technical for the first time might think I'm working with the irrigation or the machinery. So technical is a word, means supporting the technical side. So basically supporting the farmers. So agriculture technical officer can also be called as a agriculture consultant. So what I basically do is, I don't go to a 9 to 5 office. I have a schedule for a week where I have to visit these many number of farmers, and they tell me what the issues are, and I combine them with my company products. Whatever products can help them, I design a trial for them, and I go and do the soil sampling and the soil tests and any other kind of samplings or tests that I need to do before the trial. We design a trial area where we grow. So it's basically the land of the grower. The grower does his normal stuff like planting, applying fertilizers, applying manure, everything. And along with that, he uses our products. We show him the difference between the normal things that he's doing and the results after he uses our products. And finally, we give him an estimate of what he's spending, what he saves using our products. So that is what my normal job is. And then I got to attend meetings with farmers in a particular area where we consult with them. We ask their problems. They come and discuss with us what issues they've been facing. It could be pest or disease or soil, including anything. Like they could have any issue and they can mention it to us. And we have a range of products from biostimulants or fertilizers. So we don't focus on chemicals because there is a thing like there is a saying: if you damage something, to recover that, it takes twice the effort that you made to damage the stuff. So I am not going very deep into agriculture, but I'll just like to give you an insight to what's going on in the
Yeah, sure.
field. So we use a chemical in the soil, it will obviously damage the soil. It will damage the natural biome of the soil. So we are working towards an organic one, like towards an organic revolution kind of thing. We use biologicals, we use microorganisms that can help as fertilizers to the plant rather than using the chemical compounds like ammonia and some of the, because most of the chemical fertilizers have been found to be cancerous as well. So there is, for example, methyl sodium. These kind of things are cancerous. So they are going to be banned. So the growers don't know what to do. So we find an alternate. We have developed some biologicals, some microorganisms that have been cultured, and then we apply it to the soil in different proportions and different ratios according to the soil and plant needs, and we see how the plant goes, and we have got very positive results regarding that. So I think the we are working towards the next phase of agriculture, which is an organic agriculture rather than chemical fertilizers and chemical inputs. So that's what the company does, and my company has branches in more than 30 countries, and they have been in this field for like 35 years.
Okay. So long.
So that's about my job as a
Uh,
officer.
the whole yeah, day-to-day tasks and responsibilities and the motivation of the company, it sounds so interesting and you are working to a greater cause, I should say.
Yeah.
uh,
Yep. So it's not a boring job because you have different kind of things coming up every day and different challenges every day. So yeah, it's interesting.
yes, and it's different from what most of the people are working, like yours is not 9 to 5 and we are working practical
Yeah.
directly with the farmers. Alright. Uh,
Yes.
so, what are the options someone will have after BSc Horticulture and after MSc or and after PhD?
So after BSc, actually, I'm not the right person to answer what it happens in India because I didn't pursue a future in a career in India. But as far as what I knew when I was doing my BSc is going for an MSc gives you a priority over other candidates who might have just done their BSc and then come for a job interview. Like when you sit for a job interview, what they see in your resume is an extra degree. So I think that gives you a preference over others. And if you have a PhD, it's even more better because more knowledge, more experience, and you know what you're doing. So I think that gives you a preference in the hierarchy. So what I was wanting to do is go for an MSc and go for a PhD and then become a professor. That was what I wanted to do back in India.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know teaching is a noble profession, so that's what attracted me towards that, and that was what I wished to do. But I think there are many other opportunities, like I told previously, with the banks. As a horticulture officer, agriculture officer, I have some friends who've been working as village horticulture assistants. I think I'm not pretty sure, but I think they deal with the farmers directly, get the data, collecting data and stuff. Like, every year data is required to monitor how things are going in that particular area. So I think that is the career opportunities that you get, or you can attend some bank exams, and then you can go to, like, you can even do some short courses or software courses, and then if you don't think you fit into the agriculture industry, you can change your route from there, like attend for your, you can even go for there was a time when I wished to uh, go to the forestry.
Okay.
So I think it's called IFS. So you need to attend that exam, and then yeah, you can go into that as well. So or you can go for your civils. You can do anything. If you think you don't fit into the agriculture, there are many other fields that you can go after this, because basically you have a degree with you, and then you can attempt many other stuff, and you can get into any fertilizer company, food industries. You can go for a quality officer. Like if you're here in abroad, you can also go for meat industries, because The only difference that I felt is in India, you need to have that particular degree that they have mentioned in the job responsibilities when they advertise for a job. But over here, it's not like you can have a degree in agriculture and you can work in environmental stuff, agriculture, food, meat, poultry, everything else that is at least somewhere in the branch. So that is a plus that I think is there up here. Um, and also we have maybe because of the population concentration in India that we have a lot of competition, and for that we have a lot many steps and exams and procedures to get into a job, while here it's a bit lesser, I think so, because we don't have as many. It is difficult to land in a job. It's equally difficult in both the places, but because the workforce is less here, like if you have a job, I think the maximum you will get is 100 people applying
Mm-hmm.
for the same job.
Mm-hmm.
But while in India, it could be 1,000 people.
True.
So yeah, that's what the difference is in the the career market when you go for agriculture. So if you are interested only in agriculture and if you think you can work towards this cause, you can go for HO, AO, or cooperative bank jobs where you help the farmers with their loans and schemes, or you can even go to educating the next future and go for a professor job.
Hmm.
And I think for the professor job, having a higher degree, a PhD, might be helpful because you're covering a greater area. Like if you're specializing in a particular thing, maybe that'll increase your knowledge and maybe help you land in a job faster.
Got it. Got it. So, what are the top corporate companies in agriculture or horticulture domain?
So, in the agriculture and horticulture domain, we have companies that sell hybrid seeds, we
Mm-hmm.
have companies selling fertilizers, we have companies selling only organic products, and we have companies selling post harvest products. So, post harvest products include the food industry, the pickles, jams, and those kind of stuff that you can do process after the production. So and then you have consultancies where where the farmers can go and get their problems sorted out. So these are the domains that are mainly highlighted in the agriculture and horticulture industries. So for I think in India it's Monsanto, Coromandel, and Kaveri. Those are the some top ones, as I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And in Australia, it's AGRICHEM is a plant protection one, so it's basically liquid fertilizers and stuff. And we have some hybrid seeds companies and all. And there is a company called Elders. There is Nutrien. There is NU Farm, Sea Salt, Syngenta. So these they are a combination of stuff like fertilizers or seeds and post harvest stuff. And there are some meat industries as well. And each supermarket has a quality officer, so that is also related to our field. So that is actually food, but you can also apply for that job. So the quality officer basically checks the quality of the products that is coming into the supermarket. That is also a good paid job here.
Got it. Got it. So, how have you prepared yourself for masters? Like, what exams have you written, and how have you funded your fees?
Yeah. So for my master's, it's pretty expensive in Australia, first thing, because I had opted for different for other countries as well, but then I felt Australia is a better option because
Mm-hmm.
Canada, because of the climatic conditions, first thing, because Australia's western part has a climate similar to India, like our South India.
Hmm.
So that's what I think attracted me towards Australia. And also, I was looking for a course in agriculture, and at that particular moment, I thought that is the best thing I could do because it had broadacre crops and stuff, which I had no idea about. So I thought a combined knowledge of my horticulture crops and broadacre crops could together help me in having a wider view about the course and subject. I did my so it's the normal student visa process. I did my IELTS and I applied to the college directly through an agency.
Mm-hmm.
So the agency was the one that helped me choose the best course and the best place to do it in. So it was, I think it took me 3 to 4 months to apply and get into the college. I started in the month of February with my IELTS course, and I finished, I think, 1 month of training,
Mm-hmm.
and then I gave my IELTS exam, and I landed a pretty decent score. And after that, I applied to the college, and they gave me an offer letter, and I fulfilled their stuff like getting a student loan and filling up all the procedures that they wanted me to do. And after that, I applied for my visa. Like after you have paid your first semester fees, only then you can apply for the visa. So that's what you need for the visa, like your offer letter, your fee payment, your passport, your IELTS score. So these are the things that you need for your visa. So I applied for my visa. It took me, I think, 2 to 3 weeks to get the student visa,
Mm-hmm.
and then you book your tickets and then just land in the college. That's all.
Got it, got
Yeah.
it.
So
Mm.
yeah, and my course was funded through student loan,
Okay.
and my living expense I was doing with my part-time jobs. And I think I didn't mention about the job options here. So in here, I think you might be aware about the green card, but when it comes to Australia, we have citizenship as the equal. I think citizenship is equal to green card. I'm not pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the first step is PR, which is the permanent residency. So we got to finish a course here, a master's, because that gives us more points towards the PR.
Okay.
So finishing a course and doing right now for the engineering field, we don't need a course. I think so, because they have taken up the requirement of, sorry, not the course, the professional year. So professional year is where you work in your specified profession for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So for the IT and engineering field, I think they have taken it off, and you just need to finish your course and have an offer letter to apply for the PR.
Okay.
But for agriculture, it's a skilled profession.
Mm.
So for skilled profession, they need professionals who are very good at their skills. So that's why they haven't taken off the professional year requirement right at the moment. So you need to do your 2 years course, and then you need to do your 1 year profession, like finish your 1 year in any company, and then provide them with proofs that you have finished your course and your 1 year of professional job to apply for the PR. And then you have agriculture consultants here.
Mm-hmm.
So I come in that category. Then there is research assistants, who are the people helping up in the labs, for the research purposes. We have two big organizations. One is GRDC, Grain Research Development Corporation, and there is one called CSIRO as well. So
Mm-hmm.
these two corporations, they are the organizations that help in the research section. So they employ students or professionals from agriculture. So they employ people, and they are called the research assistants. And there are senior research assistants, there is agricultural scientists, and there is another field in agriculture which is called agriculture engineering, which
Mm-hmm.
deals with the machine side. So we have two different paths, one is agricultural science and one is agricultural engineering. So yeah, that's the job market around in Australia.
Got it, got it. So can you give us a rough figure of how much the college fees for the 2 years?
So when I came in, the fees differs as well, because when you come as a couple, I think there is a little bit of difference when you
Mm-hmm.
bring your spouse along. If you're married and you bring your spouse along, there is a little bit difference in the fees, but
Okay.
that's because I think they include something regarding the health insurance and stuff as well. Maybe because that's why I had paid. So in I'll convert it into Indian currency. So my total fees was 32 lakhs for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So my IELTS score was above 7. So they gave me a scholarship worth 4 lakhs. So basically, my course was 28 lakhs for 2 years. So I had to pay around 7 lakhs each semester. We have 4 semesters.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Got it.
that's the fee structure. And for the living expenses, to be like to roughly, if you're a student who doesn't own a car and doesn't have much expenses,
Hmm.
if you have $2,000 in your hand, like 50,000 or to 1 lakh around, you can live happily.
Got got it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that your masters must have been pretty hectic than BSc. How is it different from BSc, and how is it different from Indian education?
So main difference I would say is expenses. So while I was doing my bachelor's, I would wait for the end of the month for my dad's salary to come in and him giving me my monthly pocket money to spend. So that's how my BSc was, and I was in a government-based college. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in a private one, so it didn't cost me much because I had scholarship options. So it was like I wasn't paying much. I didn't feel that I'm paying too much. But after I came here, each semester cost me 7 lakhs in Indian rupees. So that was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So I also had my living expenses to deal with. So for the living expenses, I used to do part-time jobs, and that made my studies a bit hectic. And the most important thing I'd like to tell anybody who wants to study in Australia, specifically in Perth, Curtin University, please don't do any part-time jobs if you can, because I've seen many friends of mine who've been involved too much in their part-time jobs and going around for the money that they lose their interest in their course. And as I said, the assignments are 10 to 20 times harder as we do in India.
Hmm.
So if you don't concentrate on your assignments and your studies, you're for sure to take away 2 or 3 subjects in one semester. One semester has just 4 subjects, but I have friends sometimes losing all the four, so because they never show up for classes and stuff. So yeah, what you would so they we have a minimum of 20 hours working per week. I
Mm-hmm.
think that should be enough to help you support your studies. I mean, for your food and for your lifestyle, I think that should be sufficient and no much heavy expenses while you're studying. So when you come over here for 2 years, don't concentrate on money. All you need to concentrate is on your studies. Once you finish that, you can do anything you like because you have unlimited working rights and you can land up in a good company and then you can earn. But for 2 years, if you stay away from the part time, making a part time job a full time job and making your studies part time, that will be very difficult to go through because it'll again make you pay. Like, I think if you fail in one subject, you need to pay at least 2 to 3 lakhs to write it down again.
Hmm.
So that's pretty expensive. So
Yes.
if you go and earn an extra 1 lakh while doing for your part-time job, you have to pay back 2 to 3 lakhs if you lose one subject. So comparatively, if you just work 20 hours a week, it could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours a day, maybe 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. That should be sufficient to support you, your rent and everything, your transport and stuff. So yes, so that's what you, so that's at a moment of time, even I left off my studies and I was busy doing job. And then when I was on the borderline to fail, I recognized that I was here to study. That's what I'm supposed to do here. So I gave up working for like 7 to 8 months because I was
Hmm.
concentrating on research. And the research work here, they try to send you towards a path where you're doing a primary research. So that's a very good thing. So they don't provide you with any references. What they'll ask you to do, I mean, my professor who was my supervisor as well for my research, so she tried to push me towards a primary kind of research. So no one has done that kind of a research, so I had no base to refer to. So that's a
Hmm.
positive attitude. Like, they do want to take risks. They do
Okay.
want to see results as well. But even if you don't land in a result, they won't be criticizing you for anything, or you have done this or you have done that, you have left off this. They won't be saying anything. They'll be very supportive. So that's the kind of difference that I have seen. And yeah, the main difference is expenses. In
Hmm.
BSc, my parents were looking after my expenses. In masters, I had to look after mine. So that made my studies a bit hectic.
Hmm.
So being tired, being not able to concentrate very much because I was also dealing with my job. So that kind of took a bit to balance. but then somehow I made it, and then after 2 years I graduated. Luckily, even if I was in borderlines for one or two subjects. So yeah, that's what happens when you concentrate more on jobs. So that would be the most important thing I'd like to someone who aspires to study abroad. But I think in some other places you can find jobs inside your university. That would be very lucky. I couldn't find one because they were because I don't know, maybe because the pay scale was different in the university and different outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't look for any job inside the university. So, yeah, attend your classes well, follow up well, keep a good rapport with your professors, and do well in your research works. And, yeah, there you go, you're done with your master's.
Got it. So, apart from your coursework, have you developed or did any other courseworks or any other courses have you done to develop your skills and make yourself job ready, or the coursework is enough?
The coursework is enough, but what I would suggest is having some software skills because once you land in a job, you need to do analysis,
Mm-hmm.
like making a report or presenting a report. The main thing that attracts people is not pictures and a hell lot of reporting or data or writing. So, what attracts people over here is your graphs, your data analysis. That's the main thing that attracts someone towards your report here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd suggest going with some basic data analysis courses.
Mm-hmm.
So I happen to have a course called Quantitative Biology in our course,
Mm-hmm.
which has software skills. So one of them was R Studio. So I think yeah, that should have helped me. So and after landing in my job, they had asked me to at least develop one more software skill. So
Okay.
I had done another course on Ars Data. It is another data analysis thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have incentives based on the number of skills we develop. So I think having a software skill, a good data analysis skill would be very helpful to land in a job. And also the same, and the job market is also similar to India in a way that they ask for experience.
Mm-hmm.
So a minimum of 3 to 5 year experience. But yeah, you have to start somewhere to get the
Yes.
experience.
Correct.
Yes, everybody is a fresher somewhere. So you just need to get a start somewhere and then yeah, it should be fine.
Got it. Got it. Uh, how will be the salary range in this domain?
For the salary range, I cannot say specific about the jobs that I told in India because I'm not pretty sure how their salary differs every year,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, like the annual changes and stuff. For if over here, a professional who has done their masters, the starting wages will start from $60,000,
Okay.
60,000 Australian dollars. 60,000 Australian dollars to above.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be so for a technical in my aspect for a agriculture technical officer, it would be something between 60,000 to 80,000 Australian dollars.
Got it. Got it. Uh, so, apart from data analysis tools, any other tools do you use on day-to-day basis?
No, I don't use anything else because my job is concentrated around instruments. So
Mm-hmm.
we have these meters, pH meters, refractometers, calcium, magnesium, potassium meters. So we generally use those kind of things. And after a trial, we get a set of data which we need to analyze and put it in a report form.
Okay.
So I basically just present my reports in the Microsoft Word and just basic Microsoft Word and Excel skills. That's all I use for my reporting.
Got it. Got it. What do you most enjoy about your work?
So the most important thing is it's not a 9 to 5 job. That's the most important thing that keeps me stuck on this job.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing is it's not the same every day because I am a person who gets bored out of routine. So if it's anything, because one day if I go to a grower, this
Mm-hmm.
next day I go to another grower, so both of their problems are not the same. Both of them are not the same person. So it's like it's more about talking. It's more about understanding the person, more about learning about their problems. So every day is a different thing. So every day you cannot expect to go to an office, clock in, do your job, have a lunch break, do your job, clock out, come back. So it's totally different from that. So that's what I enjoy most about my job, like having a different challenge every day, having a different task every day. Yeah.
Nice. And what do you find the most challenging part?
The most challenging part is to convince a grower.
Okay.
So, to convince a grower, you need to gain their confidence, and then you need to
Mm-hmm.
gain their trust, and you need to get them into the path of what you want them to understand from you. So, and like, what do you say? Because the growers work towards a quality produce.
Yes. Mm.
So, I'm sorry, they work towards a quantity produce, means they want heavy produce, size of the produce, weight of the produce, but we want them to work towards quality produce along with soil protection.
Okay.
So, convincing a farmer to do that is very difficult because converting from chemicals and inorganic to organic is a difficult task, a very very difficult task. So because you need to change the entire soil biome, because the soil biome means the microorganisms and the nutrient concentration of the soil. That's what a soil biome means.
Mm-hmm.
So converting that from an inorganic or chemical thing to an organic thing is very difficult. So that's what a farmer is always resistant towards when you tell them that you need to convert from inorganic to organic. So a good thing that the government did is they have mentioned a particular year by which the farmers need to convert into organically certified farms.
Okay.
So that's what is pushing them towards conversion to organic. So with that instinct from the government that we get, we have a plus point of convincing the farmer that you have to do this, so we can help you to do this.
Okay.
But still, it's difficult because there is a product called methyl sodium, which is a cancerous agent that can cause abortion in pregnant women,
Mm-hmm.
can develop cancer in a human body. So this particular product is what I'm recently working with.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very difficult to convince a farmer to stop using this. So this is for soil nematodes. Nematodes are the small worm kind of things that are microscopic, that are
Mm-hmm.
present in the soil. You might remember as a child, your mom might have told you not to play in the soil because you'll
Yeah.
get some worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what nematodes are.
Mm-hmm.
So they can negatively affect the crops. You can
Mm-hmm.
see lumps and bumps on potatoes, carrots, and stuff. So that's because of the nematodes. So convincing them not to use methyl sodium is very difficult. Last day I went to a farmer where I told him you cannot be using methyl sodium anymore because it might be banned in the future. So it would be good if you try to convert towards organic or biological means. So he was very upset on that fact that that's going to be banned. So that's what it makes the farmers upset as well because some of the stuff may give them immediate results, but
Yes.
organic stuff gives very slow results. But once it is set, once the soil is converted into organic form, it's gonna work wonders. So making farmers convinced that organic is going to work for you is a
Mm.
challenge, and getting data from them, because we need to show them a difference on what our product has done for them, is another challenge because they don't want you to know what they earn,
Ah,
because we may charge even more for our duties. So yeah.
got it. And also, they might be doing a procedure from many years, and to shift from that, it
Yeah.
is difficult.
Yeah, to get them deviated from that process for a better cause is also a difficult task because they don't know what the results are, and we cannot promise what the results can be.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if something goes wrong, because of some unknown reasons, so nobody could be held responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. So, do you have any suggestions for the buddies interested in horticulture or agriculture domain?
So, what I would say is if you are interested, if you come into agriculture by chance,
Hmm.
and if you are interested in agriculture, there are many, many opportunities for you. But if you're not interested and you just want to go for a salary at the end of the month, I'm not sure if you would land in a better position, because agriculture is a subject which has no limits. If you
Yeah.
start studying today, like, if I'm not saying anything about the engineering students, but you have a set of rules, you have a set of responsibilities, you have a set of things you need to finish, and then your course is done.
Hmm.
But for agriculture, if you start at a particular place, there is no end. You
Hmm.
cannot finish the course. You cannot say that I have finished studying about this, because every day you see a different thing. Every day a new disease comes up. Every day a new pest comes up.
Yes.
Because I can give you an example. Snails were never a pest. Snails were normal animals, or normal kind of things that we see around. But they are now a very notorious agricultural pest. They have been declared a very notorious pest. And there is a different kind of snail, it is green in color, that was
Mm-hmm.
considered an exotic species, but now it is considered a pest.
Oh.
So that's what, each day it changes each day.
Hmm.
So you cannot say that I have finished doing this job, I have finished doing work in this particular field. So there is no end to it.
Hmm.
So that's what I would like to say, that if you start studying after your BSc, you cannot come say that I have finished my bachelor's. There is nothing more I have to do, because every day you will have many different. If you start reading the papers that are based on agriculture, you would never have an end to that papers, because there is one primary research, there is a secondary research based on that primary research, there is a tertiary research based on that secondary research. So that also continues to a long, long, long chain. So, what I would suggest is, if you're very much interested, you will have a blooming future.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think you're losing interest, it would better to shift into something like like civils, or going for a bank
Mm-hmm.
exam, and then landing in a bank job. I think that would be a better option.
Got it. Got it. Thanks for this amazing session and sharing all the information about your domain.
Yep, no worries. It was good talking to you as well.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. See ya. Then have a good weekend.